following program on Derana 24 is classified for general audience. It is intended for all ages. It contains little or no violence, no strong language, and little or no sexual dialogue or situations.
Good evening, and you are joining us on another episode on Business Best, and this is a platform where we showcase the best in the business, and we will be introducing to you people who have excelled in a particular field in order to showcase their latest developments in their respective industry. Now, today on the show, I'm going to talk about a very pertaining topic where children are not children per se, individuals are looking to do their higher studies abroad, and for that companies have been coming up in order to make our visa process easy. Now this company is one of them, and with that introduction, I would like you to be introduced to Raees Ul Haq, who is the founder and CEO of the Student Visa. Raees, thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
Thank you so much, Shanali and Derana, giving the opportunity for startups like this in order for us to showcase what we have done in terms of development as individuals, as businesses. Thank you for the invitation.
You're welcome. And yes, to ease into the discussion now, tell me, Raees, what did you do before this, before you started your business, and what was your passion into getting into business?
Okay, cool. I have been working in the industry for the past 9 years, and I worked in a company called MSM Global as a country manager for 1 year, handling 25 universities. And even before, I worked for the largest education conglomerate in Sri Lanka for 5 years as a manager for US and Canadian transfer programs. Even before that, I worked in Murdoch University in Dubai for about 3 years, and then I studied in the UK. While I was studying in the UK, I worked in the university's admissions team as well. So throughout, from the very first day, I've been working in the education industry, and then the last job at the MSM Global, I thought this is the time for me to start on my own. I knew everything, literally everything about the education industry. What are the major markets? What universities look for? What students look for? And then I took a risk with myself and giving up on a job which was paying me really well, and I took a risk.
Do you think that risk was worth it? And when you started off the student visa, it was last year, I presume?
Yes, last year, January.
So tell us a little bit about how you initiated it.
Right. So I started the last year, January, and then I had, it was on my own. Nobody was working with me. And then after about 1 month, I recruited one person, and we were only 2 people for about the first 5 months. And with the Sri Lanka situation, the people, the demand and everything, I think doubled or tripled or maybe quadrupled in terms of numbers and inquiries. And I understood the problem and the students' requirements and everything, and I started on social media. I started putting information for students, what are the major information people don't know, and then I made everything public, and then other agents started blackguarding me as well. Why are you giving all the information? But then again, all the information is available in the internet. I'm just trying to reach them out and then tell, this is what happens when you apply, this is what happens when you get the visa, this is what you have to do when you go to the UK, Australia, Canada or USA. And with that, by May, June, I had unlimited number of applications, inquiries where I couldn't handle by myself, and then I had to recruit 3 more people. And then my team became 5. Now we are 11. We have recruited in the past 16 to 18 months. We have made a significant growth in terms of the industry, and this September intake looks massive as well for us.
All right. So when you initially started the business, did you expect this type of demand?
To be very honest with you, I had a target to achieve for this September intake. But that target I achieved in last year, September itself. So the hike and the Sri Lanka's economical situation, where people were very comfortably living with a very good salary, they also started going abroad. With that, the demand increased, and then everybody is trying to leave Sri Lanka to education or either to work. So we get about more than 50 to 60 new inquiries every day.
Every day, that's a lot. So as an entrepreneur, how did you face that challenge? Were you ready for it?
Actually, I wasn't ready, and then I'm known to be, so I have a couple of platforms where I post information, especially TikTok. I'm known to be the TikTok guy for education. Everywhere I go, like people come, and so I tried calling you, you didn't answer the phone, and then I have more than 500 messages on WhatsApp where I haven't replied as well. So for that, I have come like 1 year and 6 months is gone. I understand the demand, and then we have 100% visa approval rates to UK, Australia, Canada and USA. So we have no visa refusals, and then with that a lot of people come to us inquiring. I have had people from Jaffna, Batticaloa, Hambantota, Vaunia, Kandy, Nuwara, all around Sri Lanka. They take their time and then come because of the trust they have, and then we are very transparent in terms of application process to the visa process. The best thing is, unlike Sri Lanka has about more than 200 agents, only about 20 agents don't charge even a single penny to do this process. So we are one of them. But 180 agents, they charge an admission fee, and then before visa, after visa, they rip the student off, which is not right, because the university pays a significant number of commission for the agents. So people should understand, if they are trying to charge anything from you, those people are not doing the right thing for you, because university take care of the agent.
Okay, now in terms of service, what are the services that the student visa offers in terms of the countries that you'll cater to and the universities that you'll have access to?
Right, so we have UK is my biggest market, because I lived in the UK for 3 years. I studied there. I know in and out about UK. Canada, Australia and USA are the 4 markets we do. And then in the future we are starting the medical placements as well, where there is a huge demand, where only about 1,200 students get to go to medical colleges in Sri Lanka, and KDU caters a small number as well. And then apart from that, everybody else goes to Russia, Ukraine and India, and about 7-8 countries where the SLMC is recognizing their degree, where they can come back to Sri Lanka and practice as a doctor after completing the Act 16. So we are going to cater that market as well. We are in the process of getting the partnerships done, but for now we have more than 500 university partnerships from UK, Australia, Canada and USA. And UK, there are about 160 universities in the UK. We have partnership with more than about 120 universities. So there are 2 sets of universities in the UK. That's Russell Group of universities. We are the top 24 universities, and then the other category is the tier 2 category. So we are the Russell Group universities comes under Cambridge, Oxford, LSE, King's College, where they don't have to give partnerships to anybody in the world, because the demand is high, the supply is less, so they don't work with anybody. Apart from that, even the Russell Group universities like University of Liverpool, University of Nottingham, University of Birmingham, we have partnership with, we cater to those universities as well.
How did you manage to get all these partnerships into play?
Right, so it's the education industry is huge. It's a $1 billion industry. Countries like USA, UK, Australia, Canada, they depend on this income to their country. Even though people think that getting a visa is hard, getting admission is hard, it's a win-win situation for everybody. It's not like Sri Lanka plays against India and then Sri Lanka wins the match and India loses. No, this is a win-win for everybody. The agent or the consultant has to get the visa for the student. In order for him to win, the student has to go to the university, get the visa and go to the university for the student to win. And then there are Southeast Asian regional coordinators where they handle. In order for them to win, the student has to go to the UK. In order the UK government or the Canadian government to get money, they have to grant a visa. So it's like a win-win situation for everybody. As long as the documents are in place, their intentions are in place, everybody gets a visa, apart from if they don't know what to do, how to do. That's where we play a major role. We know how to get a visa, we know how to apply for the universities, we know how to send the student.
Roughly around how many people go for higher studies abroad?
Right. It's Sri Lanka is comparing to India. Sri Lanka with the population and all. Sri Lanka is a pretty small market in the world. Sri Lanka has a population of 22 million compared to India and China, big numbers. So to UK last year, 2022, only about 4,400 people went to UK for education. Australia market is about 8,000 students. Canada market is about 3,705 to be specific, because I checked the numbers yesterday, and then the US market is about 2,000. Roughly about 20,000 people leave the country to go abroad and study, apart from the other destinations where the medical placement. Some students go to Russia, some students go to Ukraine for other education as well. So USA, UK, Australia, Canada is a 20,000 student market for Sri Lanka.
Okay, so would you say that 20,000 number is within this year which you have been operating?
Every year roughly about 20,000 people go, but this year is going to be the biggest intake for USA, UK, Australia and Canada. This July, August, September intake is going to be the biggest ever intake for Sri Lankans, because we see a lot of students are trying to leave. Every other person who we meet wants to leave abroad with the Sri Lanka's situation. Brain drain is highly happening. Definitely. But then again, we see the brain drain. I want to specifically speak about that also. People see, okay, you all are sending everybody from Sri Lanka and then nobody is going to be in Sri Lanka. But then again, what people don't see is just the brain drain is happening, but the brain gain is also happening when they go there and then come back, or else when they go there. I mean, UK, Australia, Canada and USA is easily about 10 years advanced in technology, in terms of technology, rather than Sri Lanka. So when they go there, when they see new things, they always want to come back and then give something back to Sri Lanka. And wherever we go, we are going to say we are Sri Lankans. Even people go live abroad in Canada or UK, even they live for about 10-15 years, they are always going to be Sri Lankan. So the brain drain is happening. Actually, the brain gain is also happening. For an example, you see Sundar Pichai went to USA and then he works for Alphabet, and then he always gives back to India a lot. So we will have similar situations in the future for sure. Everybody who leaves the country now, in about 5-6 years, definitely they will give something back to the country as well.
All right, thank you, Raees. Now, before we continue with the discussion, we have to go into a short commercial break. We'll be back soon. You're watching Business Best. Welcome back to Business Best, and we were in discussion with Raees Ul Haq, who is the founder and CEO of the Student Visa. Raees, now before we left off to the break, you were telling about how people are wanting to go abroad and the numbers are pretty high. And even I myself have come across a lot of people who's been wanting to go at this time because of the current situation here in Sri Lanka. But now when it comes to this process of visa, it's a huge headache and people are finding it very difficult because there's a lot of documentation process that needs to be, taken care of. So in your opinion, as the CEO of the Student Visa, what are the common mistakes that people tend to make in the visa process, and what do you think is the most important thing that people should keep in mind?
The common mistakes the students usually do is in terms of choosing the destination, and then choosing the university, and then choosing the program. I mean, people who are 27, 28 after A-levels at the age of 19, they are now 27, 8 years gap, and then they are married with 2 kids, and then they try to go to Canada for an undergraduate program, which shows the IRCC, the immigration officers, their intention is not to go there and study, but to migrate. So there are age gaps in terms of understanding what you have to choose, the program and the university, and then what sort of institution you are choosing, because there are different types of institution. Australia has about 43 universities. When you apply for a university, the rejection rate is really low. And then there are education providers like the colleges where they can't give you a degree. So in terms of applying for those colleges, and then vocational training colleges where they try to go for a 1-year program without even knowing what they are going to do at the age of 27 after O-levels, and they have worked in a different industry, and then they go. So you have to make sure you are selecting the right program, choosing the right institution, and also choosing the right country. Those are the main main things that you have to take into consideration before getting applying for a visa.
Right. So when talking about the visa process per se, let's say the people have already made their decision, okay, I'm going to this country, to this university, I have a goal, this is what I'm going to do. But now there's a process in terms of getting your visa application accepted in the first place. So I believe that the statement of purpose plays a major role in this. So I think that's where a lot of people tend to mess up. So what do you think people should keep in mind when doing that?
That very good question, Shanali. In terms of personal statement or the SOP is the most main and the most important thing, because we have in the UK universities, there are a lot of universities where they don't accept application if they don't have a second upper degree from a UK university done in Sri Lanka, and then if they are a local university graduate, they need 3.0 GPA in order for them to get in. Even though, let's say you want to get into, for example, even though you want to get into like the Ivy League universities where nobody has partnerships with, if you want to go to an Ivy League university, because you spoke about SOP, I'm bringing this up, Ivy League universities, Harvard, Pennsylvania State University, those are the universities in the US. So if you, even though let's say you don't have a good first class degree or a second upper degree or even a second lower degree, if you just have a pass, you could have gone through something while you are doing your undergraduate program. Maybe you were sick, maybe you had family problems or you had personal problems because you couldn't pass. And let's say if you want to apply for Harvard or Stanford or Yale, you can bypass the application process with a good personal statement. That's how the personal statement important. Different universities request for personal statement in their university's requirement. Some say 750 words, some say 1500 words, some say there is no word limit. You have to cover three questions. Why did you choose the university? Why did you choose the program? Why did you choose the specific country? And then what are your plans after completing your degree? What kind of leverage this is going to give you once you go back to Sri Lanka? Because this student, what people don't understand is this student visa they get is a single intent visa. They are giving you the visa for you to go to their country and then study only. Some people, when they have, there's something called pre-CAS interview before getting the CAS document, which shows 50 points for UK. There are multiple, I have seen people come to us saying, I did the pre-CAS interview, I failed the pre-CAS interview, and then when they fail the pre-CAS interview, the universities doesn't give them another chance. They say, okay, this intake you can't apply. Some universities give them another option. So most common mistake I see in the pre-CAS interviews is the difference between the SOP and what they told the interviewer. So they ask, okay, what are you going to do after completing your degree? In the personal statement, they mention that I'm planning on coming back to Sri Lanka, where they don't even know who wrote their personal statement, because a lot of people get the third parties to do personal statement. We don't do that. We push the student to write it down, because the student knows better than us what he wants to do and then why they choose the university. So we tell them, and then they give answers like, okay, after education, I'm planning on working there for 2 years. No, this is a single intent visa. They are giving you the visa to come there and study. After studying, you say that you are going to come back to Sri Lanka. That is their motivation. And then if they say that, okay, I'm planning on staying there, and then they don't even know about what subjects they are going to study, writing a personal statement has to emphasize about the program, the subjects they're going to do, and everything about the country and the university as well. So it is very important. So with a good personal statement, even though you just have a pass or a second lower, you can get admissions to like the top 10 universities in the world. That's how the SOP is important.
Okay, now this is another question that I'm going to ask from students who have actually wanted to going through this visa process as well. What is exactly the difference between an SOP and a cover letter? Is there a significant difference there?
I mean, SOP personal statement is explaining what according to the university's requirement. So cover letter, when you do a cover letter, we just adjust according to the SOP and then submit. So what to UK what we do is we do a visa request letter, addressing it to the High Commissioner or the visa officer, explaining this is my plan, and then SOP is already uploaded into the portal, and then the university has the documents with the CAS document, and the High Commission has the document. So we give them a visa request letter. Specifically, we don't give a cover letter. We attach the SOP and then we give a cover letter explaining everything in the SOP, and then what are their plans afterwards, how much financials they have, and everything. So with a good personal statement or a cover letter, we can bypass a lot of applications, and we can get a lot of approvals as well.
Okay, now coming back to the student visa. Now, as we mentioned, this process is quite a hassle. So what has your company done in order to make this process easy?
Okay, cool. So now we have I have more than 500 WhatsApp messages which I have not replied because of the demand, right? Not that a lot of people wanting to go abroad, a lot of people trying to get applications and admissions, because some people go to different agents where the agents don't know what they are doing, and then they haggle them with the application process for a very long time. They keep the application for 2-3 months without even applying for the university, because they charge something from the student, and then they are in a winning situation. In our case, we don't charge anything from the student. In order for us to make profits, we have to send the student abroad. So what I believe we are young, and then our office is based in Hatchworks as well, which is the largest co-working space in the world, and then they are very helpful. And then I met a couple of tech guys. So we are bringing in, by coming out of the old paper applications. Now we are going to involve technology to this. From the 10th of June, we will have our own portal in order for our students to come and apply. Nobody has a own portal in Sri Lanka, a Sri Lankan portal. Nobody has a Sri Lankan portal. UK, USA, Australia, Canada, the student will have a portal, the counselor will have a backend. The student will know their journey from the beginning, from the application submission process. Once it goes to the university, if the university is requesting, if the university thinks the SOP is not good, the student will be able to log into our portal and then check the application status. And also, when every in the application process, for each and every change we make in terms of the application, the student will get a SMS to their phone and an email, and then they can go to their portal and check, because the transparency is very important, and then making sure the application process is smooth. Because we are not getting technology involved, because technology is everything. I believe now with AI coming in, everything is accessible. Now the student visa will have a portal for the students. They can apply for 4 different countries in one go. They can come and log into our portal. It will be available on the 10th of June, and then they can apply 4 different countries in one go, and then they will be able to get update on each and every situation they have to face. And then we have to come up, and then we will make sure the process is smooth and the process is transparent, and then the student knows where they stand. Because some universities I have universities where they give an offer letter in 24 hours. There are some universities they take about 3 days, some take 5 days, some take 2 months, some take 6 weeks. It differs on the university. So we will have a number of days. Let's say if you apply for Greenwich University, they give an offer letter in 1 day. So De Montfort University will give an offer letter in 5 days. So for example, Nottingham Trent University will give an offer letter in about 3 to 4 weeks. Birmingham City University will take about 6 weeks to give. So we will mention the usual TAT, turnaround time we call it in the industry. So TAT time is, let's say, 6 weeks. If they have passed 5 weeks, we will notify them, okay, now we have passed 5 weeks. So the 6th week you will definitely get the offer letter, and so that they know, and then they don't have to call, message us. A portal would do the needful for everybody.
That's great. I mean, as you said, it's a hassle to even call our agents and, ask, okay, where is this, give us an update on this. It's easy for the agents also, I think, to keep an update on the track of the visa process as well.
Yes, we have been working on the portal for the past 3 months. Now we have started testing internally before putting it out for the public, that we have to make sure that we put out a completely good product in order for them to use it, and then make sure their process is transparent.
Okay, Raees, thank you so much for sharing your information with us on the show, and we've reached the end of our program as well. I wish you all the very best with the September intake, and thank you again.
Thank you so much once again, Derana and Shirley, for inviting me for the program, and we look forward for the program, and then look forward for Sri Lankan students, whoever is planning on going abroad, to make sure that they don't get ripped off from anybody, and making sure that their process is transparent and the process is smooth from the beginning till they get to the country. And also, I would like to add one more thing for this. We are working with a couple of third parties in terms of making sure even when they go to the UK, they don't know from the airport how to go to the university. We are working with third party companies like transport providers like big, I don't want to mention names, and then food chains, in order for them to have a code once they go there at the airport. If they want to buy a coffee, we will give them a code. So we are going to become a completely tech product within next 1 month.
That's great. Thank you again, Raees.
Thank you so much.
And that was our episode on Business Best. We will be back again next week with another product or service that would interest you. Just in case you couldn't watch us on air, you can always rewatch by catching us on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Derana English. I'm Suzanne Shanali. Stay safe and have a good night.